I just got this email from the BarackObama.com email blast. They've been doing a lot of email blasts lately. And we've been reporting on a lot of it. And the latest today is from Kathy Gasparin from BarackObama.com. And man, they are strong-arming people now into donating. It says here, friend, tomorrow's fundraising deadline is absolutely huge. And then she says, I was looking at our records associated with this exact email address, meaning my email address. And I years ago, I fell on the proverbial sword, and I signed up for the bulk emails that Obama's campaign was sending out. Just so I could keep track of what was happening and get an inside scoop on things. And now they're actually going through each individual email address and determining whether or not the person associated with the email address has donated any money to the campaign at all. Of course, it's illegal for them to solicit donations from me because I'm a Canadian. I live in Canada. So, PP Simmons is a worldwide ministry. We have contributors from all over the planet. Asia, the Middle East, South America. So, even during the campaign, I used to get these emails. We've noticed you haven't given any money to the campaign. Of course, I'm a Canadian, so that's illegal for them to solicit donations from Canadians, by the way. It says, I was looking at our records associated with this exact email address, and it looks like you haven't chipped in yet. Yeah, I won't be chipping in either. But I'm going to stay in. I'm going to stay involved with the email list here because there's some interesting stuff coming out. But listen, I want to talk to you guys about a war brewing on the Republican side here, and this is something that could be disastrous for the 2014 election season, which is going to be an important one. People are saying that the Democrats could get a supermajority in 2014. That's the goal here. I think that's the aim. Even with the immigration bill that they're trying to push, it's been approved by the Senate. It is to go to the House soon, and with the immigration reform legislation, I think that has to do with the reason the Democrats want that so bad. I think that has to do with 2014, folks, because there is a push now to make voter ID laws of none effect. In cases where there is no need to produce identification, you have this enormous influx of people coming into the country under the banner of amnesty. And amnesty, it does have this, even though Reagan was responsible for an enormous amnesty push, the current amnesty push is on the Democrat side, and the hope is, I think, that it will push the Democrat numbers into a supermajority in 2014. And let me tell you something, that is not beyond the realm of possibility, especially when you look at the war that is fomenting out there with the Republicans. And I want to talk to you guys about this. People who know me for any length of time, for as far back as the battle between McCain and Obama back in 2008, you will know that I was no fan of Sarah Palin. In fact, I was quoted as I was attacked by by Mark Levin, by his fan club came after me because I wrote some articles showing concern that Sarah Palin she was chosen in order to take a dive for Obama by McCain. I really believed that. She was inexperienced. She was not conservative enough, and she had all the conservative talking points on the political spectrum. But listen, folks, conservatism is an existential reality. It's not just a political philosophy, a political ideology. Conservatism and liberalism, they are existential realities that apply to every aspect of life. And let's face it, Sarah Palin, she had a young family still. She had ongoing issues with her daughter, who was pregnant out of wedlock. I mean, these are not conservative values, folks. And she was not. I mean, she just didn't exhibit the full conservative package, and she didn't exhibit the full experience package. She was a gaffe machine, and I think that the McCain team chose her in order to take a dive for Obama. I mean, let's face it, John McCain is what people refer to as a rhino, a Republican in name only. He serves the left of center cause more than the conservative cause on many issues. And I took a lot of heat for my stance. I was quoted in the mainstream media, in fact, as someone, one of the evangelicals who was throwing Sarah Palin under the bus. In fact, myself and another person, I forget who else they named, but it was me and the other guy who were, we were sort of taking a stand against Palin and saying, look, this is a bad choice. She's not conservative on social issues, on family issues. She just wasn't. And there's a whole lot to say about that. But she has matured over the last 5 years. She has become more astute on global issues. She has I don't know, she stayed with it, and she is now I don't know, saying many of the right things, I guess, but she is now going after Rubio. And in a tweet recently, in fact yesterday, she said, Obama calls Rubio to congratulate him on immigration reform. Hope the 30 pieces of silver, hope it was worth 30 pieces of silver, she says. Marco Rubio, one of the gang of 8 who are trying to push forward the immigration amnesty legislation. And of course, Palin's against it, and the war is raging out there, and here is more evidence of that. Marco Rubio, a petition, a recall petition, is now circulating in Florida to have him recalled. So what do we have going on here? We have essentially a battle going on in the Republican Party, which could, just implode the entire party and lead to a supermajority for the Democrats in 2014. That's the goal here. Now, is Rubio, some people believe that because his chief of staff once worked for George Soros, that Marco Rubio is essentially a Trojan horse, that he is an agent for the Democrats to stir the pot, to foment the rage and the warring, in order to cause dissension in the ranks and to get people to perhaps stay home on election day in 2014 and to split the party. So, I mean, what's going to happen here, guys? What's going to happen? I mean, do you let this kind of stuff go? Of course not. Do you fight against the frontiers of permissiveness in the country? Do you not protect the borders? Do you not enforce the laws? And when people like Rubio step up, when people like John McCain step up, do you not speak up against it? You have to. So what's going to happen here? we reported a story today, and it's out of Texas, and it's a quote from Representative Steve Stockman. Stockman is a good friend of ours. He is. It looks like he's going to be the one with the biggest pair who's going to take on the Obama eligibility thing, and he's saying that the GOP can kiss Arizona, Texas, and Florida goodbye. What does that mean? Does that mean they become a Tea Party alternative? Could be. It could be. It could be. But I think that we are left with very few options here now, folks. We have got to get, when I say we, I mean the American people, have got to take the eligibility thing more seriously. There's so much fighting going on within the GOP that it has to be done through people rising up and raising a stink over the eligibility problem. Now, today, one of our operatives got a hold of Congressman Louis Gohmert. And one of our operatives, Chris Farrell, he called into the show, and he got Gohmert to promise to look into the jailing of Colonel Lakin, who simply questioned Obama's eligibility and was put in jail for it. And the congressman said, "Hey, this is so we got to look into this stuff." So more and more congressmen are on board with investigating the Obama birth certificate fraud. It's a proven fraud. It's a known fraud. We have all of the evidence now. There's no question beyond any reasonable doubt that Barack Obama's birth certificate, there is not a single shred of legitimate documentation to prove where this man's from. I mean, nobody knows where he's from. And the evidence that he's given to support where he's from is a known fraud. So what's going to happen here, folks? Is it going to come down to nothing happens with this, the biggest fraud in American history, perhaps even the history of the world? Is it going to come down to nothing is done about that? The Democrats get a supermajority and get to run roughshod over the country, over the Constitution, and over the world for the last 2 years of Barack Obama's presidency? Is that what's going to happen here? You guys have to do some serious soul searching, and you have to. I mean, Mike Zullo and Sheriff Arpaio are reaching out to you, and they are asking you to call your representatives, to call the media, to raise holy fire over this abomination that is the fraud and the usurpation of the White House, of the presidency of the United States. Everybody expects Mike Zullo and Carl Gallups and Sheriff Arpaio to do this all by themselves. It's time for you, the American people, to rise up. Nobody's asking you to take up arms against the president. We are asking you well, I guess it is a form of taking up arms, but it's not a weaponry. It's the arms of your intelligence. It's the weaponry of your mind and your mouth. And you put down the remote control, turn off the television, and start paying attention. Start making calls to your congressmen, to your legislators, to the media, like Chris Farrell, who's just a guy out there wanting to make a difference. And guess what? He's getting through to these congressmen, and he's making a difference. Be like Chris Farrell. That's the new campaign, the new P.P. Simmons campaign, the Be Like Chris Farrell campaign. My name is Mike Shoesmith. You've been listening to P.P. Simmons Radio. We'll talk to you next time.